Barry. Good morning.
Good morning, Natalie. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's so nice to be here with you on this cloudy, dreary day, but you can see everybody's still having a great time.
Yeah, if you look up and down Main Street here, Natalie, the crowds are still there. Maybe a little less, but
Yep.
I don't think the weather has really kept a lot of them away. I think you know, the remembrance of the day is important. I think people realize that and will show up. So
I totally agree
it's
with
good
you.
to see the numbers out there.
It is good, yes. The kids look like they're having a great time.
You know, you see a lot of familiar faces that you see every year, but every year you see more and more kids, which I think is a good thing. You know,
Yes.
and the parents are bringing them out on days like today. So I think it's very important, and
Yep.
and they have a blast. As you can see, we're being showered by bubbles here. We got a little bubble machine
Right.
over there, so I know he's having fun.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's great to be here, and we want to thank Peabody Access for getting this out to our viewers at home.
all right. A lot of people working hard here, Natalie,
They
from
are.
Peabody Access, and
Yep.
I think people, they don't realize all the work that goes into making something like this happen. You
They-
know, it's easy for somebody like me to come in, on a day and get to talk with you, but
Yep.
there's a lot of preparation that goes into
Yeah.
this. So,
Yeah. The crew started a week ago getting ready for this,
Right.
Barry.
wow, yeah.
Okay,
Well, we can hear the sirens starting to come down Main Street,
Yeah.
so I think we're getting close.
Yeah.
So. As you can see, the excitement is mounting. All the
It's-
kids are getting a little closer to the curb.
Yep.
So,
Getting ready.
Yep.
And it's very, very special that we're here to honor those that have given the ultimate sacrifice for us to be here. And yeah,
sure.
we're looking forward to seeing a lot of the veterans representatives. All our officials will be heading off, coming
Yep.
down.
You know, and it's good to see the Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts,
Yeah.
the Campfire Girls, all participating. They always see the Alhambra vehicle members, so that's always a big hit
Yes,
when they
yeah.
at the parade. So,
We have a Peabody Veterans High School JROTC program too, part of it.
I was in Dunkin' Donuts getting a coffee before I got here, and there was a member of the junior ROTC
Oh.
there, and she goes to boot camp in 13
wow.
days.
Oh,
so
wow.
isn't that something? huh?
That's awesome.
Right out of high school, right into the
yeah.
service, which is really something. So.
Okay, here we come.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just everybody's getting really, really anxious now to see our first division coming down Main Street.
Yep.
Here we have the lead car starting it off.
Right. And the fire engine is just starting coming over the crest of the hill now.
Yep.
So, it won't be long before
We'll be able to
we'll be in
see them
full
down
swing
here.
here. So, it's like I said, the crowd seems to be getting thicker and thicker as we talk. So I think that's
Yeah.
great.
We have
We
a
weren't-
lot of the children waving their flags, so that's quite the sight to see.
Yeah. Not the best weather, but
No,
we'll get by.
Yep, didn't keep them back, right?
That's right. Exactly. So Natalie, I looking over at City Hall. City Hall looks beautiful
Oh,
as usual.
It does. They
And I
keep-
see that's the first year we'll have the Women's Memorial next to the regulars
Yes.
for the first time this year. So I think that's depending on who you talk to. But hey, let's face it, it's a deserving
Memorial,
tribute.
yes.
So
Yeah.
it's probably in the right spot right now. if
This
you
year
ask
we're
me.
going to have the mayors giving out the Medal of Liberty to those that were lost their lives in the Vietnam War. So
Wow.
that should be a very touching
Yeah.
ceremony. Well, we're getting kind of overshadowed with the engines coming along.
Yeah, here we go. A lot of changes on Main Street over the years. You said this was the 151st Memorial Day
Yep.
Parade, huh? So if you look out and see how much Main Street has changed,
It
even in the
certainly
past few years with the movement
The
of the
new-
monument. And,
Yeah, the new
you know,
traffic pattern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Which I think is a lot better. It's
I do
working
too.
out better.
I do too. It met with a little bit of controversy, but I think it's working out just fine.
Exactly. The police motorcycles
Right.
are escorting the fire engine.
Natalie, is that the police honor guard right behind?
It looks like it might be the police, Peabody
Right.
Fire Department color guard. They're leading off the officials. I think they're. Wow. You're right. I think you were right. Peabody Police color guard along with the fire department's behind them.
Followed by the city officials, Natalie. I see this. They're sort of bundled up today. I can remember marching in just a shirt and tie. You
Yeah, I
that
know.
was-
Okay. We have the officers going by us. Okay, what engine is it, Barry? Do you know?
Yep, it's engine 4.
Engine 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's from your ward, isn't it, Natalie? Huh? I see some lucky people got to ride in engine 4 during the parade today. Probably having a blast.
Okay, engine 4 going by us now. Okay, and we have Atlantic Ambulance.
Chief Griffin leading the Peabody Honor Guard, Natalie.
Color guard. Oh, that's great. They look so wonderful.
Yeah,
don't
they really do.
Look at them.
Behind them, the fire department honor guard.
Oh,
Let's see. I see Representative Speliotis, Donna Jansky.
okay. Yes. There's a
Mayor Betancourt, Teddy,
councilors.
and other
Councilor
councilors.
Walsh, State
Senator
Representative
Lovely.
Walsh, yeah. Very nice. They all look great.
Yeah.
Councilor Mitsoulas.
Yes. He's been in a few of these, I'm sure.
Yes, yes. The VFW. Okay, we have the Veteran Services here. The Gold Star families are going by right now.
Counselor, how are you? Counselor Manning stopping by. Good.
Okay, here we have the Veterans Memorial High School Marching Band.
The Peabody fight song, so apropos, huh?
Wow, don't they look wonderful, Barry?
They really
look
do.
at them, and they sound great. Wow. Nice job.
Yep, and they work so hard. You know,
They
they
certainly
really
do.
And a talented group at that, I'll tell you
Very,
that.
very proud. Very proud. Wow.
Oh, McGruff is here. I was wondering if he was going to make it, but he's here in the deer vehicle.
Here he is. Mr. McGruff. Oh. Oh, and look at the cruiser from way back there.
Yeah. Back when the jail was right in City Hall.
Exactly. Wow. Huh? Phil's towing.
Yep.
Never lets us down.
No, no.
Very patriotic. Wow, he's got quite a fleet.
And loud. I think we have the American Legion coming down behind the Phil's towing
Yep.
trucks coming through the square right now, Natalie. American Legion Post 153 in their vehicle.
Okay. A lot of history here, Barry, right?
I was just thinking the same thing,
Yeah,
you know.
a
And
lot of history.
unfortunately, there are fewer and fewer marchers, but
Yeah.
the ones that do march, they're here every
Yeah.
year.
Heart and soul.
Yeah. The Polish Legion of American Veterans.
Post 63, color guard. I think
Oh, we got
that's-
the Worcester Brass Band behind the Polish American.
Yeah, I think that was Lola Busta too, Barry, that just went by. Yeah,
It wouldn't be the same without her, though, would it?
for sure. Wow. Oh. So this is the Worcester Brass Band, Barry?
Yep.
I think we have the Lodge of Elks behind them. That's our Peabody Lynn
Yeah.
Lodge of Elks. Nice to see everybody marching. And now our Peabody Girl
Her
Scouts.
Peabody Girl Scouts.
Oh, the girls look great.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the little ones. Look at the daisies, Barry. Oh, there's quite a few.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's great to see so many parent volunteers, you know.
Wonderful,
Parents doing all
yes.
these things with their children. It's a
You
great
know,
thing.
It certainly is. Brownie Troop 76299 just going by. Troop 6.
And the Girl Scouts 66140. Starting to get a little older now. Huh?
Oh, we have Troop 76125. And they're also patriotic with
They
their
are, with their
headbands
flags,
and
yeah.
their flags. Oh, we have Troop 75287.
And 78007.
There we go. We have lots of troops here
Troops.
today. That's-
I gotta say, Pack 88.
Here we
I did send some information celebrating their 80th year in the parade, the longest
Wow.
pack, longest.
Oh,
They've been
that's-
here for 80 years.
That is fantastic.
It really is, and here they are.
Here they
Yeah.
come. Our proud boys
Yeah,
holding
and they're
those
to be
flags.
congratulated for those
Yes,
80 years.
Yes, 80 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And again, a lot of the parents that are here volunteering, couldn't do it without them.
No, no.
Wow.
And here we go with the North Shore Pipe Band.
I love the sound of the pipe bands, don't you,
Yeah,
Barry?
I really do. It's got such a different.
Yeah. in their uniforms too.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of them this
Yeah.
group. Ladies and gentlemen, we have.
I have the Marine Corps League coming right behind the pipe band, Natalie.
Okay. This looks like their color guard
Yep.
going by here too.
And right behind them would be the Jewish War veterans.
North Shore Post 220. Wow, that's, for some of them, that's quite a walk. What
It sure
they've-
is.
yeah.
They serve their country and they still continue
They do.
by
Yep.
participating in these parades, Natalie. And behind them would be the Second Corps of Cadets, color guard, Nat.
Okay. The Yankee Division veterans. Would this be the Civil War reenactment?
I would
group
say
here,
so, Nat,
Barry?
yeah.
Oh boy, I think they're getting ready. This looks like the
Portuguese, yeah,
American
yeah.
War veterans. Post 1 color guard coming up, along with its members.
Commander Silva.
And oh, yes. There's former Chief Joe Mendonça right
Yeah.
there in the front.
With General. And Banda is here, Natalie.
Okay.
Banda Reguisa Portuguesa.
Yeah, they
Not
are
as good as Councilor Selesny could have pronounced it, but I did my best.
Yes. Yeah. They're usually the #1 spot
Yeah.
on our festivals.
That's right.
Barry. Yeah. Beautiful. great.
They do.
Well, we have some more scouts.
Yeah, it
coming
looks like
along
pack
here.
119.
Okay.
.621. And troops 58 and 119 that.
Okay. Looks like some of our National Guard vehicles
Sure.
coming along, Barry.
And you can bet the kids would love for them to fire off a couple of those
I
cannons.
know. Oh, my goodness.
And Natalie, I think we need to recognize our crew because I think we're winding down, and I think
Uh-huh.
all the work that this crew has done definitely deserves some
Right.
recognition.
We'd like to give a shout out to our crew members, Don Murphy, Jim Palmer, Desiree McMahon, Gus Maggiota, Gabe Malta, Matt Smith, Connor Murphy, Tori Thompson, and Paul Yehudik.
And definitely a big thank you to
Yeah.
you, Natalie,
And
for
Barry-
being here. And as usual, it was a pleasure.
It was my pleasure, Barry. Thank you.
Commemorating the sacrifices of those military men and women who have laid down their lives in service to this nation. It has been said that one must die so that others may know the full value of life. We are all given only one life to live. It may end in an instant unfamiliar to one and all. Yet it is because of this certainty of death that we place such a high regard on human life. If we could live forever and experience no losses, we would never be able to fully appreciate the moments in life that makes us truly happy. But just as happiness isn't free, the freedom of life to its fullest has its cost as well. That's what the members of our armed forces do for us every day. They pick up the check so that the rest of us may enjoy the land in which we live. They fight for our freedom, for the freedom of their fellow human beings, and for the freedom granted to us by the founding fathers. Every minute of every day, there is a soldier somewhere, far from home, giving all he has to give for a much higher cause. Likewise, there is a veteran somewhere with his fingertips on a war memorial, thanking a fallen soldier for saving his life years before. Please stand while the American flag is raised by the veterans of foreign wars and the national anthem is sung by Peabody native Dana Sheridan.
Oh, say, can you see early light? Once so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that
Thank you, Dana. Peabody Veterans Council Chaplain Al Prudhomme will offer the opening prayer.
Let us pray. Dear God, as we gather to remember the veterans who have gone before us, now and at rest, those that are now serving our nation, bless our efforts to remember them this Memorial Day 2017. Prepare our prayers and thoughts to remember their service to our country. We pray this in your name, dear God. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. At this time, I'd like the Honorable Ted Betancourt, Mayor of Peabody, to come forward.
Good morning. I am very honored to be here this beautiful morning. I had made some comments at Cedar Grove Cemetery earlier, and I said the same thing. I wrote this a few days ago, hoping for the best. But please, everybody sit. Please, everybody sit. I was hoping for the best in terms of the weather. It didn't quite cooperate, but certainly the spirit and the meaning behind this ceremony is beautiful. I am very honored to be here this beautiful morning to pay respects to our fallen soldiers and honor their memories and their families. Memorial Day is a day of remembrance. Across our great country, citizens today honor our war dead, every man and woman who responded to the call of the colors and gave their life to protect our nation, our freedom, and our way of life. The United States of America is the greatest nation in the world, and the gifts we have as Americans are many. All of us have been given the opportunity to pursue our education, to marry, have families, and strive to achieve our dreams and goals in life because of the sacrifices made on our behalf and continue to be made on our behalf by our soldiers and their families. Later in this ceremony, we will be honoring the families of 13 heroes from our city who died in the service of our country during the Vietnam War. I have the great honor of presenting the Medal of Liberty to those 13 families on behalf of our Governor, Charles Baker. It promises to be a moving ceremony and a fitting tribute to some true heroes. We here in Peabody, and I know all of you here this morning share my sentiments, that we must always remember this heroism, pay tribute to their memories, honor their families, and never, never forget. This morning at Cedar Grove Cemetery, we dedicated Veterans Reflection Park, a beautiful section of Cedar Grove, so that families can come together and remember their loved ones. Cedar Grove is a wonderful place where we have hundreds of soldiers, veterans that have passed on, that are at that cemetery, and this reflection park will be a wonderful place to go and pay tribute to them. I want to thank all of you. God bless all of you, and God bless America. Thank you. I did want to introduce our elected officials who are here today from the city, and there are many. It's wonderful to have so many representatives here. Our city councilors at large, Tom Gould, Dave Gravel, Ann Manning Martin, and Tom Walsh. Our ward councilors, John Turco, Peter McGinn, James Mitsoulis, Ed Charist, and Joel Saslaw. And we have school committee members, Joe Amico, Beverly Griffin Dunn, Jared Hockman, and Tom Rosignol. I wanted to mention our light commissioners who are here, veterans, Tom Paris, Bob Wheatley. And it's my honor, we have a proclamation from the governor, Charles Baker, and I thought it was a wonderful idea to have one of our students read the proclamation for us. I invited two of our students that are our Project 351 representatives at the Higgins Middle School, our 8th graders. These two students are chosen based on leadership skills, academics, and just community service. Two wonderful students that do a wide variety of community service for the school. Most notably, they run a clothing drive, and this year the city of Peabody, our city, had the most clothes donated in the whole state of Massachusetts, and it's because of these two representatives. Unfortunately, one of our representatives couldn't be here today. He's away with his family. His name is Colby Brown. But we do have Sydney O'Donnell, a remarkable young lady who's going to come and read the proclamation from our Governor, Charles Baker. Sydney?
Whereas, while the nation was still recovering from the horrors of the Civil War, people in cities and towns across the country gathered to honor those Union and Confederate soldiers who had given their lives, celebrating the first Decoration Day. And whereas, after World War I, the nation came together again to honor those who had fallen in the service of their country. Renamed Memorial Day, the last Monday in May is when people remember and honor the memory of all men and women who fought and died in all American wars and conflicts. And whereas throughout our country's history, thousands of Massachusetts citizens have fought in wars and conflicts to defend our safety and way of life, and whereas their legacy of patriotism and dedication to country is an inspiration to all Americans, and whereas it is appropriate that all American citizens remember the bravery of those who gave their lives so that their sacrifices serve as a reminder of the cost of our freedom. Now therefore, Charles D. Baker, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim May 29, 2017 to be Memorial Day, and urge all citizens of the Commonwealth to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. Given at its executive chamber in Boston this first day of May in the year 2017 of the independence of the United States of America, the 241st.
We are also honored to have with us the Honorable Joyce Lovely, State Senator. Do you want to come up?
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm deeply honored to be here today as we gather together as a community, as a Commonwealth, and as a nation to honor the legacy of our servicemen and women. Today we stand united as neighbors and citizens to commemorate the lives of all the heroes that served in the United States military. These brave men and women selflessly answered the call of duty, and the courage that they exhibited will never be forgotten. On Memorial Day, we especially remember those heroes who answered the call of duty in an extraordinary way and made the ultimate sacrifice to protect our nation, our democracy, and our way of life. It is especially fitting that we also remember the valiant actions of all of the posthumous Medal of Honor recipients, those who selflessly sacrificed their lives in an attempt to save comrades in arms. These recipients and all of the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice to our country served for a cause greater than themselves. They exhibited honor, valor, and selflessness, and represent the best of who we are. Today and every day, as Americans, we join the families of soldiers who have given the ultimate sacrifice to our country in honoring their heroism and their courage. These courageous and selfless men and women went beyond the call of duty and gallantly gave their lives for their country, and we will forever be grateful to them and their families. They were a gift to our nation, and their memory is preserved each and every Memorial Day. I'm humbled and grateful that I'm able to join all of you in supporting the lasting legacies of America's greatest heroes. May God bless all of our fallen heroes and their families, and all of the men and women who continue to serve in our armed forces. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
The Honorable Ted Spiliotis, State Representative.
Very much. Thank you very much for having me. You know, I've been listening to the mayor and the senator, and I couldn't help but think Peabody's a really unique city and a very special city, and I'll say why in a moment. But the key thing is, this morning we recognize 13 families and their loss. It's not unusual for Peabody to do that. In the past, other communities have stepped forward and then have forgotten. Then they come back to the cause. Patriotism doesn't stay as high as it stayed now, as valiantly and as courageously and with all the conviction that we now show. That wasn't the case for many years. And I will tell you, throughout my entire career, and I've been here through my entire career, I can tell you one thing. The Vietnam War is my generation's war. It's the war that we're identified with. And what's happening here this morning isn't happening anywhere else, perhaps in the Commonwealth. And it's indicative of this city's commitment to all of our veterans, but especially today to those that lost their lives during a very, very difficult time. So I'm very blessed to have represented this city for so long, and I'm very blessed to go to the State House to be able to talk about what we do here in Peabody. So thank you very much.
And the Honorable Tom Walsh, State Representative.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to take a moment to thank Donna and Post 1011 and Veterans of Foreign War for organizing today's events and all the events that have occurred over the last couple days. They have done incredible work. If you visit the cemeteries, certain landmarks across the city of Peabody this week, you'll see that they have decorated the graves and really placed wreaths in the appropriate spots so that we honor those who gave their lives for us. It also is an honor for me to be among my colleagues, my legislative colleagues, my city council colleagues, and all elected officials. You know, it never ceases to impress me on the morning when you march in a parade, how many people come out along the route and are waving flags, and they understand what the day is about. Today is about honoring those who gave their lives so that we can celebrate and live our lives and really avail ourselves of every opportunity that this country offers us. And you know, I was thinking about it, and today we honor 13 of our residents here in Peabody that lost their lives during the Vietnam War. And we remember everybody who has lost their life or given their lives so that we can enjoy our freedoms. And you think about it, this year we celebrated the 100th anniversary of Peabody becoming a city. And you think of all the things that have happened since then, over those 100 years. It was also 100 years that the United States entered the World War I. And also, 100 years ago today, a native son of Massachusetts was born and became president. And who knows, Mayor, we might have another native son of that in the next 100 years may be. But seriously, I think about those who have given their lives, and you know, you often think what could have been had they lived. But there's a flip side to that too, that they're fighting for us. If they had not, what might not have been, what the opportunities that all of us have had because of what they have given. And that's what today is about. Today is about honoring their lives, but celebrating the fact that they were here and fought for us and gave us what we have today. And for that, we're grateful. So I'll close with that because I think that is the most poignant. I thank you for letting me be part of today's ceremony, and we'll look forward to the rest of the service. Thank you.
This past year marked the official commemoration of the Vietnam War. Our city honored both Vietnam veterans and Vietnam-era veterans this past Veterans Day. Within those ranks were 13 service members from Peabody who gave their lives in service to their country. We are fortunate today to have most of the families of those heroes joining us here today, and I would like to take a moment to acknowledge them and any others among us who have lost a loved one in the line of duty to our country. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. No words of condolence can even begin to adequately console a survivor's grief. Let me just say that I have the greatest respect and appreciation for their contributions and sacrifices, and we are proud to honor them today. In a few minutes, Mayor Betancourt will be presenting the Massachusetts Medal of Liberty to the families. But before we do that, some of the family members would like to share some thoughts about them. And I also want to share with you some thoughts that folks have written about a couple of these men. And they were taken from the website virtualwar.org, where people can leave messages for those whose names are on the Vietnam Memorial Wall. So, who do I have first? Do you want me to? All right. So I'm going to go first. First we have Bruce David Dick from Bethany Hurrell, the uncle I never got to meet. Although we never got to meet, I feel you are a part of me. I feel for my mother who misses her brother every day. But she relives your memories through her great nephew, my son, who has your name, Jacob Bruce Hurrell. You made us all very proud of, and you will never be forgotten. We love and miss you. Ralph Warren Maney, from Kathy Connolly, a high school sweetheart. You will always be in my heart, and I will never forget you. Louis Mario Gerolman, from Tom Petkovich. Back in 1966, when I lived in Peabody and went to the high school, I bought a motorcycle. I met Louis up in Ward 2 playground, and he stayed with me until I learned to get the courage to ride the bike back to my home. I will never forget him for having the patience that he had with me in the process of learning how to ride the bike. I would be hesitant in buying the motorcycle now, but if I did, I would always remember Louis and I up in that playground over 50 years ago, giving me the courage to ride it home. I will never forget him, and to his family, I am sorry for your loss. Judy, a friend. Louis was a great guy, lots of fun to be with. The last time I saw him was at our prom, when he and a couple of other guys took me and a couple of other girls to a haunted house after the prom. The guys had a great time, jumping out and scaring us. That was Louis, always spontaneous and fun-loving. I don't think I ever saw him when he wasn't smiling or laughing. He was in shop classes, but he was in some of my regular classes. Miss Luz was always telling him and John Savageau, who also lost to us because of this war, to keep quiet. But I know for a fact that she adored Louis. I remember a very sweet, happy guy who had a ton of friends and a ton of personality. I really cared a lot about Louis, as did all his friends. He will never be forgotten and will always be missed. Steve Mitchell, a friend. I was a corporal in the 1st Battalion, 27th Marines, and a friend of Louis. We served together as radio operators. Nearly 50 years ago, I was a passenger in the Jeep with Louis, driving when the accident occurred. A very sad day indeed. I was lucky and only sustained some bumps and bruises. My heart goes out to Louis' family. I am so sorry for your loss. He was a fine young man, and I shall never forget him. Okay. So, got through that part. Mayor Betancourt will be presenting the Medals of Liberty to the families of the fallen Vietnam servicemen, honoring the ultimate sacrifice for each of them made.
Good morning. What a magnificent parade and what a wonderful Peabody tradition that we uphold again this year as we demonstrate our everlasting respect and gratitude to the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice defending our great nation. Memorial Day is a time for reflection, a time to think about the important things in life: family, friends, faith, community, service, and sacrifice. And this year, on behalf of Governor Baker, I am honored to bestow the Massachusetts Medal of Liberty to the families of 13 servicemen from Peabody who were either killed in action or who died because of wounds received in Vietnam. The stories of each of these fallen heroes are unique. Some of their family members will share some of their precious memories with us in a moment. The Massachusetts Medal of Liberty was created by the state legislature in 2009 for men and women who were killed in action, died as a result of wounds received in action, or died in service in the line of duty while in a combat area. I want to thank Peabody's Veteran Services Officer, Steve Patton, for his work in identifying the 13 fallen heroes and contacting their families. Steve Patton. I want to thank Steve and also Ken Hopkins standing next to him. They put together the transportation and the beautiful truck, I guess we can call it, that we transported the families during the parade. Thank you, Steve, and thank you, Ken. I'm going to read the names of our 13 servicemen first. And then following that, I'm going to ask a member of each family to come up and receive the Medal of Liberty, a framed certificate, and then also a challenge coin from the city of Peabody that we presented at the Veterans Breakfast last November to all the servicemen and women from the Vietnam era. Richard Joseph Boyce. Nicholas S. Conaxis, Richard Lane Cotter, Bruce David Dick, Stephen Ellis Donaldson, Louis Mario Girolamo, Leo William Levesque, Ralph Warren Maney, Bruce Allen Marin, John Edward McCarthy, John Philip Quinn Jr., Robert Leslie Ross, John Henry Savageau. I'd like to call up his sister, Martha Barrett, who came with her grandchildren from Orlando, Florida, to be with us today to receive the medal in the honor of her brother, Richard Joseph Boyce. We're going to have some family members make some remarks in a moment. I want to go through and present the medals to the 13 families, and I'm going to ask some family members to come up and speak for a moment. Stacia Exeris of Peabody, who will receive the Medal of Honor in honor of her brother, Nicholas Conaxis. Stacia. I'd like to ask Margaret Coleman, and I know there's some cousins here as well, on behalf of their cousin Richard Lane Cotter. Margaret? Is she here? Richard Cullinane, the Topsfield Veteran Service Officer, will receive the medal in honor of Bruce David Dick. I'd like to ask Kathy White of Danvers to come forward to receive the medal in honor of her brother, Stephen Ellis Donaldson. We have, on behalf of Louis Mario Girolamo, his dad, a well-respected man and family in the city of Peabody, and Louis's brother, Richard, a Peabody police sergeant and member of the department's honor guard. I'll be asking Mr. Girolamo and Richard to come forward. On behalf of Leo William Levesque, I would ask his widow, Mary Draheim, his son, Dan Levesque, and I know many members of his family are here as well, to come forward to receive the medal in Leo's honor. I'd ask Carol Ann Maney to come forward, sister of Ralph Warren Maney, to receive the medal. Carol. And I'd like to ask to come forward Russell Marin, brother of Bruce Allen Marin, to receive the medal in his brother's honor. I'd like to ask Peter McCarthy to come forward to receive the medal in honor of his brother, John Edward McCarthy. I'd like to ask Judy McNiff to come forward to receive the Medal of Honor, or the Medal of Liberty, on behalf of her brother, John Philip Quinn, Jr. We have Judy has been a longtime educator and principal in the city of Peabody, and with her is Mr. Edward Quinn, longtime city councilor, police officer, retired. I'd like to ask Shirley Howard to come forward to receive the medal in honor of her brother, Robert Leslie Ross. I met Shirley a few days ago. The Peabody West Little League did a rededication ceremony at Lieutenant Ross Park in West Peabody. It was a wonderful event. Shirley?
Thank you.
And I'd like to call John L. Savageau of Peabody. I know many members of the Savageau family are here to receive the Medal of Honor on behalf of their cousin, John Henry Savageau. I wanted to ask, and I know some of the family members would like to say a few words. I wanted to welcome up Martha Barrett, again on behalf of her brother Richard Joseph Boyce. Again, Martha came up with her grandchildren from Orlando, Florida. Martha.
Thank you very much, Mayor Betancourt. It's an honor and a privilege to be back in Peabody. I absolutely love Peabody. I miss Peabody, but I don't miss the weather. Okay. I am excited and proud to be here today. I just wish my parents, Joseph and Rita Boyce, were here today to accept this great honor. I am very proud to be here with my two granddaughters, Haley and Anastasia, and one of my best friends, Claire Bavaro, to accept this incredible award. Why we are here today. We're all here today to honor our fallen heroes. These young men never got to enjoy a long life with a spouse, never got to enjoy parenthood, a career, or a splendid retirement. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my brother, who I knew him by the name of Dickie. When I talk about my brother, I'm really talking about all the young men honored here today. Dickie was 21 years old when he was killed. He was married less than a year and was just about to go to Hawaii to meet his new wife. How I remember him. I fondly remember him tinkering with his '59 Chevy, working at the gas station and playing pool with his friends, and listening to his record collection of 45s. I still have them today. All the young men honored here today have similar experiences and stories. My brother is buried in Salem with many of his fellow fallen comrades, and I'd like to take a moment to thank his childhood friend and best man, Michael Schuneman, for always maintaining his gravesite. We will never forget, ever. I am proud to wear my brother's Memorial Killed in Action bracelet. It is a big loss for our community and country, what these brave men could have offered to the world and what they could have become. We will never get to know. We best honor our fallen soldiers by never forgetting them. Today we remember. Let's celebrate, honor, and remember. Thank you all.
Thank you, Martha, for your words. I wanted to give the opportunity. I think there's some family members that would like to speak. Is there any family members that would like to come up and say a few words on remembrance, words of remembrance on behalf? Please.
Thank you, Matt. I'm Thomas Ma, and Bruce Marin is my uncle. He was born on Mother's Day, May 11th, 1947. 70 years ago. He was the youngest of 4 sons. He felt it was his duty to join. He was very proud of his unit, the 101st Airborne. He had a premonition that he wouldn't come home. He told his friends he wouldn't be coming back. He went out and got a portrait taken of his mother, and he paid for it in advance, and it came to them as a posthumous Christmas gift. To know him was to love him.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to come and say a few words, please?
Good afternoon. Since we're all so cold and somewhat wet, I'll be brief. I just want to thank all of you for being here today, honoring our very young, brave soldiers who served in Vietnam. My name is Judy Lane McGuire, and I represent the family of 2nd Lieutenant Richard Lane Carter. Our family, close to 50 years, continue to be proud of him, giving his life for the country. Over the years, we continue to share his sense of humor, and did he have a sense of humor? His love of life, and his pride of being a Marine. My hands are so cold I can't turn the page. Doing this, it helps heal his tremendous loss to our family. And a very special thank you to the city of Peabody, my hometown, who have worked so hard to be sure these brave young men and women will never, ever be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Shirley, please.
Mine is also short and sweet. My family is very pleased to receive the Massachusetts Medal of Victory honoring my brother, First Lieutenant Robert Ross, for his sacrifice in Vietnam. Robert grew up in West Peabody and was well liked and had quite a few friends in the area. When my parents and the rest of us were informed of his death, we were all devastated. I was first invited by Peabody West Little League to the flag raising ceremony at Ross Park, and then asked to receive the Massachusetts Medal of Victory for Robert. This whole thing has been an honor, and I thank the veterans for thinking of Robert.
Thank you, Shirley. Anyone else that would like to come forward? Peter?
Thank you. I never expected to be here today, but my brother, as I remember him, we grew up together, and he was a fighter. I can say that in all honesty. I shared a crib with him. So I knew for a long time just what kind of guy he was. He died saving some other people. And he was with the 5th Special Forces at the time. He had served in the 101st Airborne Division before. He was a paratrooper of some renown. And I was the first of 5. He was second of 5. He died the way he wanted to. And he saved other people's lives. And that's how I remember him. And I think that's the way he would want to be remembered. So thank you for the honor. Thank you all for being here.
Anybody else would like to come forward? Please.
Hi, I'm Kathy White, Steve White's sister, and although there were 11 years between us, I have wonderful memories of my brother. I want to thank the city of Peabody for honoring his memory, and they've just done a tremendous job for all veterans, especially Vietnam vets, over the last year. Especially Steve's done an awesome job. Thank you, Steve. And again, I couldn't be more proud of my brother. He certainly served, and that is what he wanted to do. And I'm also very grateful to have my extended surrogate brothers here today in support of my family. And this is impromptu. I didn't expect to come up to say anything, but I just wanted to, again, really thank the city. Wonderful. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, sir, please. Mr. Cullinane.
This isn't easy. I graduated from Peabody High, class of '64. Excuse me. Several of my classmates are on that wall. It's hard to realize that people you went to school with were such heroes. And looking back, every one of them was outstanding when I knew them, proud to know them, happy to be here with them today. And I'd like to say one thing. I've spoken in 3 schools in the last 2 days, a couple of days. And what I say is really to the younger kids. Please remember, veterans don't honor wars, conflicts. What we honor is the people, the men and women who are young and stand up, answer the call, and proudly and bravely go out and serve their country. It's those that we honor, not the conflict they were in, the honor of them as they went and served for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cullinane. Anybody else would like to come forward? Well, I want to thank all of you for sharing your stories, sharing your thoughts. We as a city can't come up with the words to really show our true feelings. We wanted to today show our gratitude, our appreciation, and to make sure we let all of you know that your brother, your cousin, those actions will never be forgotten, and his bravery and courage and his sacrifice will never be forgotten by our city. God bless all of you. God bless our veterans. God bless all of the families. God bless America. Thank you.
Could I please have the mayor and Richard Cuoco come forward to place the wreath at the base of the monument. Thank you. Marine Corps League Detachment 127 Honor Guard will fire the rifle salute, and a high school student will play taps.
Fire detail, get a fire.
Once again, Dana Sheridan.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, or amber waves of gray, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed his grace on majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Chaplain Prudhomme will offer the closing prayer.
Let us pray. As we conclude this Memorial Day of Remembrance 2017, we once again ask that we remember those who have served our great United States of America with deepest respect and love. Simply we state, dear God, that we bless each one of us and their memories of those that have given everything for the sake of our country. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Those we memorialize today did not grow old, but they achieved the highest of all human ambition. Please sit down. Please sit down. The respect of their fellow man. Our purpose for coming here is rather to take stock of our own lives, measured against theirs, and to ask, what are we doing to be worthy of the sacrifice they made? What are we doing to defend these freedoms at home that they died to defend abroad? Like every generation that has come before us, ours must come to terms with these questions before we can hold our heads high in the presence of the honored dead. What gives this occasion meaning is not just what they did, but what each of us do as we leave the ceremony today. As Senator Robert Dole once said, we do not pay tribute to a war, rather a tribute to the physical and moral courage that makes heroes out of farm boys and city boys, that inspires Americans of every generation to lay down their lives for people they'll never meet. This concludes the ceremony. Thank you for coming.